Fun fact, this is actually the second time I'm recording this intro and everything else. I did everything yesterday, but I don't know what happened with my microphone, but for some reason it was not recording and it sounded like this. Riveting stuff, I know. But let's talk about February. Yes, February. I know I'm incredibly late with this video, but I had stuff going on. My mom was here. I was spending time with her. You'll see that in the next video, fear not. I will try to bring that out as soon as possible, hopefully a little bit faster than this one. But let's talk about February. February for me had a theme, which was kind of interesting because all of the things, or a lot of the things that happened and that I did in February kind of revolved around Chinese New Year, which is a giant big happening here in Singapore, and it was actually my first time experiencing it while living in a country like Singapore. Like when I was in the Netherlands, Chinese New Year gets brought up here and there. You wish people who celebrate a happy lunar or Chinese New Year, but I've never really had much in terms of the actual experience, in terms of the actual festivities, and in terms of the actual rituals that come with it. So this year I managed to switch that around. I had a bunch of fun things happen around Chinese New Year, both with work, both with friends, local and non-local. So it was super fun, and I'm sure you'll see all of that back in the clips. So have fun, enjoy. Okay, let's talk about books. I have my notes here because it's been a while, so a lot has happened. I'll go in order of first the book clubs and then my own reading. So for the book clubs, last time we had started on ACOTAR, Court of Thorns and Roses. We have since then finished ACOTAR. It was cringe, but fun, I guess. And we have since then started on Atmosphere, which is a Taylor Jenkins Reid. Say that twice. This is actually my first time reading anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I hear that she is very popular in the romance space, so I'm curious where this goes. As of right now, we are on 26%, so about a quarter in. So far, fun. I enjoy it. For my buddy read, last time we had started on Sign Here. We managed to finish that about a week or two ago, and we are about to start on a new book, which I can't think of the name right now, so you'll see that in the next video when we've actually started. For my personal reading, last time I was busy with The Culture Map, a non-fiction book, like a self-help book. I finished that. It was cool. I actually do think about it a lot and like my daily life, and I apply it, so that was fun. Thinking of picking up a new non-fiction book, but I don't really know what I want to do yet. In terms of topic, whether I want to do like something philosophy or something that is actually like self-help, like habits or anything like that. But when it comes to me, I'll pick it up. I'm not going to try to force it. The other book I was still reading back then is The Kingdoms of Death, which was part 4 of the Sun Eater saga. I finished that, more like it finished me, because my gosh, that was one hell of a read. And then after that, I actually had to take a break from the series because it was so heavy. So I read 2 books as like palate cleansers. One of them is Cherub, C-H-E-R-U-B, part 1, called The Recruit, which is just about a bunch of kids being recruited to be spies in MI6 or MI5, I believe, which is in the UK. Super fun. I've read them before as a kid, but I think I read the Dutch version, and now I'm reading the original English version, and it's super fun, super light, very quick. I finished this in like a day and a half, I think. And then the other one is Guards by Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett, he has this whole giant disc world where he has written, I believe, over 40 books that all happen on this disc world. And disc world is basically this giant disc standing on top of, I believe, 6 elephants, which are then standing on a giant flying turtle, which is flying through space. I don't know. That's where it's set, and they're all super funny. Think Monty Python style humor, which is just British banter, and it was really genuinely very funny. One of the funniest, if not the funniest book I've ever read. I laughed out loud multiple times. So I highly recommend it if you are in the market for a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of storytelling, and a lot of humor and just banter and nonsense. So definitely a very fun and very necessary palate cleanser. And then since then, I have also started in the 5th book of the Sun Eater saga, which is Ashes of Man. As of right now, I am on about 30% of that book. And then one other thing that I did, which was kind of cool, is I listened to the dramatized version of the audiobook of George Orwell's 1984. The beauty of this version is obviously the book was written in 1949, I believe, which is just like way back when, and they kind of stripped all the narrative and all the descriptive stuff, and they just turned it into a kind of like an audio play. And there's actually like really great actors working in this play, so that was super fun. There's like Andrew Garfield, others, and they're all awesome and very good. So I think the whole thing together is like 3, maybe 4 hours. It was super enjoyable. I highly recommend it if you have like a couple hours to kill, or if you're maybe doing some art, or if you may be doing just on your commute. Look it up on Audible or wherever you get your audiobooks. I highly recommend it. I think that is all for book updates. I know it's been a long one, so maybe the next one will be a bit shorter again. But yeah, books, read more. So as I mentioned, Chinese New Year happened in February, and if you, like me, did not know or do not know what Chinese New Year is all about, fear not, white boy over here is going to explain it to you. So Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year, is kind of similar to, traditional January 1st New Year, except for the fact that the date is not as set. Lunar New Year happens usually around end of January to middle of February. And a lot of people know Chinese New Year for things like fireworks and dancing and everybody wearing red and a lot of money going around in like the famous red packets. But there's a lot of things going on surrounding Chinese New Year. So how it works is every year the year of the animal gets announced. So there's this like 12 animal disc, I guess, that just kind of circulates, and every year you have a new year or a new animal symbolizing that year. Every animal has their own attributes, and those are then kind of like the manifestation energies that you bring into the new year. So this year for 2026 we have the year of the horse. So the year of the horse, you have to imagine it's like energy and going into things and not overthinking too much, but just doing things, and that's kind of the energy and the manifestation that this year, the year of the horse, brings with it. During Chinese New Year, you do a bunch of different kinds of things, but I think the most important thing around it is that you spend it with family, friends, and loved ones. It is very common during Chinese New Year for all family to gather together at one person's house, or you do that multiple times throughout the many celebration days that there are surrounding Chinese New Year. Or you invite friends. Like I was invited to, I think, 2 gatherings, one of which where I was just like a friend of a friend, and then the other one where I'm like close friends with the people living there. When you're there, you either order or cook a bunch of food, you play games, you hang out with family, you just catch up, and you just spend a day or evening or night together. So it was super fun, and it's a little bit chaotic, which I do also like. I thrive in chaos, so that was super fun to do. And yeah, that's a little bit of a quick mini recap of what Chinese New Year is, what Chinese New Year meant, what it looks like, and also how you need to interpret it from an outside perspective. Hope you learned something. I sure did, looking all of this up in the making of this video. So so there you have it. That is world's latest February vlog, coming out end of March. I do apologize, life just got in the way, as it does. I hope to be faster with my March recap. I have most of it already filmed, so I just need to edit it all together, find the time to sit down and actually talk to you and throw that one online. So hope to see you soon. Once again, thanks for watching. If you did like it, give me a like, drop me a comment, talk about literally anything, and see you next time. All right, bye bye.